guys, I just want to start off by saying that I've started a new channel. It is a cooking channel called The Ugly Kitchen. The link to subscribe to it is going to be down in the description box, and there will be more about it at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Good evening and welcome. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. So this is a tradition on my channel to do a kind of like, I call it the state of the channel, like State of the Union. Just to talk about my channel last year and then where I want to go with the channel. This tradition started, when was it? I think it was 2022, I think, when my cat at the time had bit my thumb so bad that it caused a deadly infection, which thankfully was caught and treated and all. It's all fine now. There's a little scar, but I made a video about why you wouldn't be able to see my thumb in videos because it was all bandaged. But anyway, now we're here doing this every year. So let's talk about my channel last year, which was so much fun, so exciting. The start of my ASMR Around the World series, where we go to every piece of the world, state, province, territory, region, etc. In every country. I threw them all in alphabetical order, and we're going through the history and geography of each one. And it's been so much fun. I feel like I've learned more about the world this year than in like any year of my life. Like more than in school, like since like learning how to like read and write in school. I have learned so much about the world, like geography and history, but also like cultures and languages, and like getting to talk to you guys about it through the comments has been the icing on the cake, especially when I get a comment from someone from that area and how excited they are to see themselves represented. It all kind of came to a head. Was it 2 days ago? I was making my trivia for the trivia live streams about the regions that I talked about, and I was realizing that I'd gotten some of my Nauru regions mixed up. Good old Nauru. And I googled the regions real quick just to double check, and the first 3 things that came up when I typed in that region, one was the Wikipedia article about it, number 2 was the Wikipedia article about Nauru, and number 3 was my video. So, like, I have accidentally become the top resource of regions about Nauru, apparently. Anyway, I am so excited that this plan of mine was a success. It took months for me to make this list, and I'm still finding errors in it all the time. I'm still finding places that I put in the wrong alphabetical order or just straight up skipped. My bad. Tomorrow we're going to go over the 2 regions I accidentally skipped. Anyway, it's a one-woman project, so I'm doing my best. And I'm so excited to see it going forward into 2024, just to see how much bigger and more exciting it's going to get, especially in February. Watch out for February. If you are paying attention to the alphabetical order, you know that something is coming up on the list that is quite near to me physically. So we're going to be exploring that. I'm so excited. I can't wait to show you guys. So stick around. You got another month to stick around to see what it is. The only other thing I wanted to address about my channel, I've been trying to think about anything else I can talk about other than how exciting it's all been to like talk to people all over the world about their areas where they live. But I think the only other thing I can think of is that starting in 2024, I'm going to be getting rid of comment of the day. And I know some of you really loved to see your comments on my videos, and it was always so rewarding. The reason I did comment of the day was to generate more comments, because more comments equals more circulation on YouTube. And I hate doing the leave a comment below, all that, those call to actions. I feel like really takes you out of the ASMR experience. So I figured a way to do that without, stepping away from ASMR and being like, hey, give this video a like, subscribe, comment, was to do comment of the day so that you could all have a chance to see your name in a video. It's been a lot of fun, especially when I get comments like, oh my gosh, I got comment of the day, I'm so excited. But I've gotten like the same amount of average comments. It has not increased. Like, the views have increased, so the comments have increased, and it's all very proportionate. I haven't received like an influx of comments because they want to see themselves on comment of the day. So I'm just going to axe it. It's one less thing for me to do every day while I edit. Not to mention, I have times where I'm going to be out of town this year, and I can't do it then anyway, because I always like to do the comments that were left the day before. So I'm gonna have to like pre-upload videos for when I'm out of town. I'm not gonna be able to do comment of the day anyway. So sadly it's gonna go. Maybe it'll make a return if you guys want it that badly. I will do it. But like, the whole ulterior motive was to try to generate more comments without me saying leave a comment below. So I'm pretty much, I guess I'm just gonna have to say leave comments below, subscribe, all that. I hope you're not seeing the weird little blips on the screen from my webcam. I just tried to adjust the resolution so that it wouldn't happen, and it's still happening. Of course it is, but whatever. I hope it's not coming. I hope it's not too jarring. But anyway, since that's all I really had to talk about, I figured I would do a Q&A for you guys. Maybe this will be part of the new tradition. It's state of the channel and a Q&A. So I got comments during a trivia live stream about a month ago, and then I got comments from a community tab post. So I kind of mushed them all together. So we're going to start off with Will's question, who asked, how's Reno? If you don't know, I moved here to Nevada just over a year ago. It was November 2022. I moved to Nevada from San Francisco, California. Reno, in a nutshell, is like terrible. And I don't mean that like Reno is the worst place in the world, but like, I lived in the best city in the world, in the most beautiful state in the United States. Like, there's no topping it. So like, it's such a downgrade. But I moved here because my sister lives here. This is her apartment. And it's nice to be close to family, And it's just more financially viable. It allows me to focus more on this channel. And so like, Reno's terrible. It has some fun things about it. Like, the most exciting thing is finding things that I thought only existed in the Bay Area, particularly the South Bay, that are here. Like Rita's shaved ice, not Rita's shaved ice, it's Rita's frozen custard. There's a lot of shaved ice places, which is fun. But Rita's frozen custard I thought was only in San Jose. And there's a Rita's frozen custard here. If you guys have never had frozen custard, it's like there's ice cream, there's gelato, and there's frozen custard. It's so good. It's like the most delicious. It's better than gelato, and gelato's better than ice cream, is what I'm saying. Just like little things here and there that I thought only existed in certain parts of California. They're still in and out here, so that's good. But yeah, it has that weird Vegas mindset of like, have fun and gamble. There's lots of casinos here, but without the Vegas mindset. Like, it still feels very small town here, but then there's huge resort casinos. It's very weird. My biggest thing to get over is how bad it smells here. And I think that's because I came from like a beautiful part of the world where the air is very clean, even in the city, except like in the Barcadero, it smells like the ocean. You have nasty ocean smell. We don't have that here. I miss like the sound of seagulls though, but the air smells bad, and I don't know. It smells like everyone here smokes cigarettes and I don't. One, because my lungs are already very delicate, and two, it's nasty, and three, smoke is one of my biggest migraine triggers, and it doesn't matter if it's a barbecue or a campfire, a forest fire, or a cigarette. Like, smoke is my biggest migraine trigger, so I don't like being anywhere near it. And everyone here smokes. It's ridiculous. The number of dispensaries in this city, and I came from the Bay Area, where like smoking weed is very common recreational thing to do. There are dispensaries everywhere. There's literally on every corner. It's outrageous. How are all these businesses functioning? So much competition. I don't know. But Reno is all right. I spend most of my time over in Sparks, which is Reno's kind of like suburb city. It's much more normal there. There's a lot more fun shopping there. But Reno does have some good shopping. Has some good like little boutique stores here and there and little boutique restaurants. But it's still an adjustment. I'm still making a change. Not a fan. I don't see myself living here forever. Definitely. But anyway, that's my answer to how's Reno. Next, two questions are from Ardare. They said, what made me interested in geography? I've answered this before, but I get asked all the time, so I'll keep reiterating it as much as I need to. When I was little, we had a toy called a Geo Safari, and they still have Geo Safaris now, but they're not at all like they were back in the 90s. They were a little like electronic toy that you would put cards on, and you would enter into the machine the number of the card you had, and it would flash to, let's say it was US capitals. It would give you a random capital, and you had to punch in the number that was on the state on the card, and it would tell you if you were right or wrong. And they had all sorts of different kinds. They had all the countries, they had planets, they had ones about animals, they had all kinds. And I loved it. I loved memorizing all the cards and getting 100% on all the quizzes. Especially the geography ones. I don't know what it was, but I loved the map ones, the ones about world capitals and stuff. This was in 1990. Okay, let me, real quick. Who asked it? Dylan asked how old I am. I am 38. I'm going to be 39 this year. So this was in 1990, and I was 5 years old. And the Soviet Union broke apart. And I was furious because now my cards about Eastern Europe were wrong. There's so many new countries, and I tried to memorize them on my own, and I kept getting them mixed up, and I could never remember the capitals. And of course I didn't understand why the Soviet Union broke up, why the USSR was now Russia. But I was so mad about it. I was like, why did it? It felt like a personal attack because I'd memorized all of Europe and now I didn't. So that pulled me in big time. Also watching Animaniacs in the 90s, which is a little fun, a very tongue-in-cheek kids cartoon, but they had little songs, and some of the songs were educational. They had a song that listed all the countries in the world, and I still have it. They have a song about all the capitals of the United States. It's still here. Like, all those weird little educational songs live in my brain rent-free for eternity. So there's that too. And the other thing that really got me was I was in 4th grade, so I was 10 years old. And I sat in front of the class, and in front of the class was a big map of the United States. Because in 4th grade you learn about, well, in my case it was California history, because I lived in California. And I just stared at it all day, nonstop. And after a couple months, I realized I had the whole thing down, like, completely. Like, I could close my eyes and still see everything. So I realized I just memorized the United States map just by staring at it for hours a day, every day. And then in 5th grade, I sit in front of the class, I look up, and there's a world map in front of me. So I thought, well, here we go. I'm going to memorize the whole world. And then I did. Because I stared at that map almost every day for hours at a time. So it just all kind of lived in there. And I loved learning facts about all these places and what life was like there. And then you know, how the world changes. Having this, it's really blippy, I'm sorry. Having this knowledge really helps understand the world. So that's what got me interested in geography in the long run. Ardere also asked me what era and location I would want to time travel to, and that is very easy. I would be on the Titanic. I would be first class. I would be enjoying my few days, what was it, 4 or 5 days on the Titanic. I would be watching my stopwatch, my wristwatch, for when that iceberg hits, and then I'm on the first boat, and I'm going to kick back and watch that ship sink. I want to do that more than anything in the world. Is that so bad that, like, I want to be on the Titanic, but I also, like, want to watch it go down? It's so bad. But number one, Titanic, for sure. I would be on the Titanic. No doubts. Absolutely no hesitation. The time traveler comes and says, where do you want to go? Titanic, let's go. Right now. Anyway. Kind of a two-part question. Royal Hawaiian Ball asked if I'm ever going to make a Hawaii video. Also, Jacob Lowe asked if I'm ever going to do the English counties. And yes, to all. We're doing every part of the world. We're doing Hawaii. We're doing all 50 states. I don't know how many counties there are in England. We're doing all the counties in England. We're doing everything, guys. So don't worry. If you live in a spot on this planet, if you're not an outer space alien, we are going to talk about the region you lived in at some point on this channel. And let's see, who asked? All the happy squirrels asked. They asked a lot of questions. But one of them was, how long is it going to take to finish this series? So, I've been avoiding answering this. I told my channel members ages ago. But it's going to take, based on how long this year took, it's going to take about 18 years to go through all these places. So, hang on, be patient, because there's some places, like poor Poland, their first place alphabetically starts with a G. So, like, I'm so sorry, Poland, it's going to be a while before I get to you, along with other places in the world. South Africa is going to take a minute, because they only have, 8 regions. Some have, 60, the U.S. has 50, plus the territories. So, it's going to take a long time to finish this. So I hope you're here for the long haul. Strap in. We're going to every place. And I want to treat all these places as equally as possible. I know I've lumped some together. Like, I just lumped 4 regions of the Seychelles together because they both started with Anse, which is the French word for bay. But, if I feel like I can lump places together, I'm going to lump them together. But if they're separate, in India, the Andaman Islands and Andhra Pradesh were back-to-back alphabetically in the whole world. That's 2 videos. That's India, okay? I'm not going to lump those, especially since they're 2 completely different parts of India, right? Anyway, it's going to take a while, so kick back, relax, get some sleep. We're going to be here for a minute, and I want to know, at the end of it, who stuck around for all of it. Hopefully YouTube still exists in 18 years. We'll find out, I guess. I plan on doing this for as long as possible. I'm going to be in my 60s when this finishes, but I'm going to do it. I'm so determined. We're doing it. Let's see, what else did Happy Squirrels ask? Let me get all their questions out the way. I wrote a bunch. Oh, here we go. Happy Squirrels asked, how is Jet Jaguar's ASMR co-hosting going? Jet Jaguar is my cat. I don't think he's in here. He was on my bed before I started filming, but then when I set everything up, he got excited and ran off. Jet Jaguar is my cat I got this year. He's a good little guy. He's a little booger. It's going very badly. He's still a kitten. He's going to be 1 year old in March. So he's still insane. If you've never had a kitten, all kittens are clinically insane. They're absolute monster, chaotic balls of teeth and claws. But they're also, so adorable. And once they hit, that year, 2 years, it just dives down to where they're very mellow and very sane. So, I wanted to get a kitten because my last cat lived to 19 years old. So it's been 20 years since I had a kitten. So I wanted to get a kitten. He's crazy, okay? He is nuts, though. His new favorite thing is to try to burrow under the blankets of my bed so he can bite my toes while I'm sleeping. A nightmare. It's the worst way to wake up. So he is not an ASMR cat anytime soon. He's gonna need a couple months to start mellowing out from kitten insane mode and become just a cat, right? It's gonna take a while before you actually see Jet Jaguar on camera purring or being cute. It's just gonna be chaos until that happens. And then Happy Squirrels also asked, what did I want to be when I grew up? Listen, first of all, I don't want anyone to judge me, okay? Do not judge. I was 5 years old also. I remember this very clearly. I was in the grocery store checkout with my mom. We were buying groceries. And here in America, I know they do in other countries too, they have all like the tabloids by the checkout. So you can read these catchy headlines and want to grab it before you buy your groceries. The hot talk topic then was Princess Diana. And there was a picture of Prince Harry, again, 6 years old tops, sticking his tongue out at the camera. And I thought, that is the cutest thing. He is so sweet. And then I found out he's a prince, and I said, that's my boo. So my plan, when I grew up, I wanted to be a princess. I wanted to be Prince Harry's wife. This was my life plan until I was about 19 when I gave up. That was the goal, okay? I still catch feelings for that man. I love Meghan. Let me be real. I think Meghan is a wonderful human being. Definitely Harry's best partner, because I kept very close track of all his partners. They were all trash, okay? I hated every single one. Meghan's the best woman he's ever dated, okay? Just so weird that she is, like, I want to say like 2 years older than me, and from California. Like, what happened? I feel like I thought like he's never gonna marry like a California girl, and he did. Like, what did I do something wrong in my life that I tried to make our paths cross? I'm gonna talk about it later. My trip to England. I don't know, but I love and adore Meghan. I think she's wonderful, and that's that. We're not going to talk about Harry's weird book that came out this year. We're not going to talk about Harry's weird book. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about the next question, which is from Hannah. She wanted to know my favorite body of water, and that is definitely Lake Baikal. I feel like every weird fact about lakes, the answer is Lake Baikal. Like the deepest lake, the largest freshwater lake by volume. I think Lake Superior's size and Baikal is volume, or it's the other way around. They have seals, the world's only freshwater seals in Lake Baikal. And there's just so many cool facts about Lake Baikal. The fact that this massive lake freezes over every winter. So fast. I love Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal is so cool. But anyway, that's my favorite body of water. Someday I'm going to go. Someday this American will be able to visit rural Russia and go to Lake Baikal and get to see that lake and all the cool wildlife all around it. I can't wait. Let's see. Who's next? Goon asked 2 questions. They wanted to know my favorite of the 7 wonders of the world, and I've been thinking about this. I don't think I really have one. I think I just have to default to the pyramids because they're just fascinating in general, and I would love to see them someday. The rest you cannot see. Out of the modern 7 wonders, it would probably be the Great Wall of China, because out of all 7, that's the one I'd most want to see and explore. Goon also wanted to know my favorite music genre, and that's definitely K-pop. I've been listening to K-pop since 2011. I'm a Gen 2 stan, okay? I listened to J-pop for my whole teenage and most of my 20s, phased into K-pop because the J-pop scene is really weird right now. There's really only one sound that's big in J-pop right now, and it's the 48 girls, right? the Stage 48 girls, which is fun, but I like lots of other things. And K-pop just fills that, and K-pop just improves every year. It becomes so much more varied and exciting, and now it's a worldwide phenomena, as it's always deserved to be. And it's the best. I love K-pop. It's so much fun. Anyway, moving on. JJ Medusa asked 2 questions. They wanted to know my favorite museum. And my instinct is to say the Louvre, but when I think about it, it's the British Museum for sure. I've probably been to the British Museum. I visited England twice in my life. I've probably visited the British Museum about 5 or 6 times, okay? I just really liked to soak in that place. All the artifacts, all the paintings, the library, it just had a really good vibe. Even just sitting on the steps in Trafalgar Square has a vibe to it, and I really like it. And if you've been to like huge museums, you know that feeling. It's just like there's something very powerful in these walls, right? It's that feeling. I kind of got it in the Louvre, but I think British Museum wins because I went there multiple times. And also, I got yelled at by a security guard at the Louvre because I walked away from the Mona Lisa the wrong way. I never got yelled at the British Museum, so I think that's the winner. JJ also wanted to know if I'm ever going to do a live meetup. And the short answer is no. As much as I like interacting with you people, I don't ever want to see you in Reno. I don't ever want to see anyone finding me or my family in Reno. Okay, do not do that. That's scary. I always joke that if we're ever going to do a channel meetup, it's going to be at an extreme place. We're doing meetup at Machu Picchu. We're doing a meetup on Mount Fuji. Great Wall of China meetup. Stuff like that. Stuff that people, like, we can make it into a travel experience, right? We're all going to meet up at Machu Picchu. We can all hang out there in the ruins and enjoy it. That's the only way it'll never be at like a Starbucks here in Reno. No. It'll be, like, if we ever do like a Nevada meetup, it's got to be Area 51. It's going to be at a place that is an experience for all of us to travel to, okay? That's the only way a meetup will ever happen. Will it ever happen? I don't know, but how fun it would be to do that. Like, we're all going to Machu Picchu, guys, let's go. Get your tickets for Peru, let's go. What's next? Ariana wanted to know my favorite U.S. state. That's obviously California, my birthplace and my forever home. I'll always love California. Northern California. Southern California is all right, but Northern California is the best. And then Yowdy wanted to know my favorite place I lived in and been to, and that is California. And I would have to say England out of all my travels. I've mostly traveled in the U.S. England was the most fun I've had traveling ever. Let's see. Oh, there's another Happy Squirrels question. So many questions. Who wanted to know what work I would do if money wasn't a concern, and that would be traveling and filming everything and doing live ASMR around the world. So I'm kind of halfway there. My goal for this channel, the end game of this channel, is to earn enough for me to buy an RV so we can hit the road together and do ASMR all over the country, and then do Canada, Central America, South America, and then I'd have to, get a boat or something to do everything else. But that's the dream, okay? That is my dream job, is to just get an RV and go and just film everything and see everything. Oh, I want to do that so bad. Moving on, Cats wanted to know my favorite country, and that is Nauru. Nauru is the reason this channel exists. I was very bored during the pandemic one day, and I decided, since I have this weird geography fascination, to Google and read about countries I knew nothing about. And I was learning some cool stuff, and then I hit Nauru on my list. And I was just like blown away by the strange history of this country. And I thought, I have to tell people. So I was gonna send out like a tweet thread, like, you guys need to know the history of Nauru, but that would reach all of like 20-30 people. I'm like, no, I gotta tell more people. And then just like a ray of light hitting me, this sudden idea I've always wanted to do ASMR, and I want to tell people about geography ASMR, and this channel happened, so I can't thank Nauru enough. Definitely on the bucket list. A live meetup in Nauru. You know it's going down. But yeah, okay, this person's name is user KX5VV4DC7G. If that's you, get a name. That's too hard to say. They wanted to know my favorite video. Favorite video. Well, that's very hard because I enjoy most of my videos. Most of the time, if I don't like a video, I just don't post it. I just redo it until I like it. So, my favorite video, it's the one I keep thinking about because it was the one I learned the most about, and I filmed it ages ago. I don't know if anyone here has even seen it. I'll try to link it down below. It was about Persian mythology. When my channel first started, I thought, oh, I should do mythology of each place. And the first time I thought that, I was doing a video about Iran. So then I looked up Persian mythology and it popped up. That book was so fascinating. It was all about the stories in Zoroastrianism that I knew nothing about. It was so, so neat. And then I forget where I went to next, but then I typed in their mythology and nothing popped up. I typed in the next country's mythology, nothing. And then I realized that was just like a one-off. Like, my library systems only have mythology about Greece, Rome, Egypt, Norse mythology. If I'm lucky, I can find some African and Native American and even Aboriginal. And then that one book on Zoroastrianism, and that's it. So, I tried. And I'd love to do more mythology videos. I posted one a few weeks ago about Norse mythology. It's great. But my mind keeps coming back to that video and how interesting it was and how much I learned from it and how much that knowledge just keeps popping up in my life about like Ahura Mazda and all the two deities and all the heroes and their stories, and interesting video. I think about it quite often. Julio wanted to know my most polemical opinion. I googled polemical to make sure I knew the right definition. It's like polarizing. My most extreme opinion. And that is about world peace, because I believe that there is goodness in all humans and that world peace is possible, but the only way to do it is if we eliminate corruption and greed, those two in particular. And my polemical opinion is that we need to control, alt, delete most of the world governments and start over and focus less on how well the economy's doing, how big our militaries are, things like that, and focus on how happy everyone is, and focus on peace and love. And then we'll have true world peace. I detest almost every politician in America, around the world, not naming no names, but I just feel like we need to eliminate the political structures of most countries in this world and focus on what matters, which is loving and caring about each other. I guess that's not really polarizing, but like whenever I talk about my political views with people, I don't, because America has two main political parties, I don't like either of them. Sure, I identify with one because you kind of have to, because it's one or the other. But I hate all politicians. I feel like there's not one politician in America for sure, and in many other countries, that have the interests of the people. They have their interests, and their wallets is their interest, not what matters, which is everyone. I don't believe in capitalism. I don't believe in communism. I slightly believe in socialism. The only issues is that those things will only work if you get rid of corruption and greed. So that needs to go before you implement any kind of anything into countries. So I know that's not a very exciting polemical opinion, but that's what I believe. I believe that we're all good. We're all one. That skin color doesn't matter. Religion doesn't matter. What? Religion doesn't matter. Your social status doesn't matter. How much money you have doesn't matter. how much education you have doesn't matter. We're all people on this earth. We're all loving, kind souls. And I don't believe in, like I believe in borders, but I don't believe in, like, oh, if you cross the line, you know, you're a different person and you're less than. I don't agree with that. We're all humans. And that's the best way I guess I could sum that up. I'm not sure. But anyway, let's move on. Abdera wants to know what country I want to visit next, which is a great question because there's so many countries I want to visit. But ideally, next is probably either going to be Japan or Korea. I had plans to visit Korea in 2020. That obviously didn't happen. But, man, I was getting my passport renewed. I was looking at job opportunities in Korea. I wanted to move to Korea. It all fell apart because of, it was 2020. It was a lot of bad things happened to me that year, but that was very devastating. I thought, oh, I can visit Japan after the Olympics because no tourists are going to be there right after the Olympics. Like a month after the Olympics. The Olympics didn't even happen that year. Is what it is, right? But ideally it'll probably be Japan or Korea. Who was it? Oh, Drop of Sun asked which place I want to visit based on all the places that I've explored. And that's a great question because that's very separate. Because, like, the one that makes sense to me to visit is Japan or Korea. But visit because of the places I explored. Hold on. I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is Oman, because Oman is just a really, really neat place. And everything I learned about Oman is fascinating, and every Omani person I've talked to through this channel has been so kind. Not that some of you haven't. The Tunisians are very kind. Oman just seems like a very special little spot. The ones I'd want to visit most, I have very wet eyes, by the way. Whenever I get very passionate, my eyes water. I have the opposite of dry eyes. I love swimming. I love water parks, water slides, things like that. I love to be in the water. So I really want to visit the big water park in Kuwait City. There's a water park in Bahrain that is Dilmun themed. Dilmun being their Mesopotamian era civilization that lived in Bahrain at the time. A Mesopotamian themed water park. It's like two of my loves in one. And then moving out of the Middle East, moving away from the Persian Gulf, in, I think it was Guatemala. Was it Guatemala or Costa Rica? I think it was Guatemala, where there was a water park built into the side of a volcano. So all of the water in this water park is like thermal water, so it's all warm. I want to go there. That looks so fun. So anywhere that has a cool water park, I want to go there. Any water park that has like a gimmick somewhere in the world, I really want to visit. But first on my list, Kuwait City, because I've always wanted to go to that water park. It looks so much fun. What else do I have? Let's see. Laura wanted to know saying that, terrible, terrible things have happened, but what's the best thing about the 21st century? Two things, and they're very boring things. When you research world history and things, I'm saying things too much. When you research world history, you learn that a lot of boring things are huge in the grand scheme of things. The two wonderful, wonderful things about the 21st century, first of all, is this. This internet is a miracle. The fact that I have all the information about the entire world at my fingertips, that whenever I want to know something, I can just type it into this machine and it'll answer it. And more, I have videos, I'll have articles, like I can learn everything because of the internet. Not to mention the communication. My goodness, I've talked, like so many of you guys are all over the world. You guys are in Australia, you're in Finland, Romania, all over the place. So many kind Chileans have messaged me, Lithuanians, Iranians, so many. That was my phone, I'm sorry. It's probably someone messaging me. All over the world. The Omanis, the Tunisians, just the kindest people. South Africans, which no one asked me what my number one place on my bucket list. South Africa. The kindest folks out there. And the fact that we can all communicate, that even if you don't speak English, you can Google Translate and send me a message, which most of my messages are Google translated. I can kind of sort of tell. But like, that exists. That's a miracle. That is so incredible. And I know that the internet existed before the 21st century. The first time I used Google, I remember, it was in 1997. Someone's texting me. That's very annoying. I should have put that on silent, but oh well. It didn't exist then like it does now. That so much is out there, and the communication around the world has just vastly improved. And it's beautiful, and it's remarkable. And then the other great thing is how far medicine comes. And what's great is that medicine never stops advancing. It's only ever getting better. Like, when you ask what's the best time to be alive, it's right now. The fact that we had a massive global pandemic that could still possibly be raging, like previous pandemics lasted years and years and years. The fact that we got that vaccine and we rolled it out and saved so many lives, probably including mine, because everything from here up is wrecked in my body. Incredible advances in medicine. In terms, not just viruses, but like advances we've made in childbirth, so mothers and babies survive. Elongating life, learning what's good to put in our bodies and what's not. And even when people come up with quacky stuff that does not work, that can get shut down way faster than it did even 20, 30 years ago, right? Fantastic. Those are the best things about the 21st century. The last question, let me make sure I didn't skip any other questions. I don't think so, but I need to check. Okay. The last question, because this is getting way too long, was from Mr. J. Gilbert. They wanted to know what images I saw on Google that have stuck with me. And I think Google Earthwise is looking at all the mountains in 3D, looking at Mount Ararat, looking at the Matterhorn on Google Earth is always a treat. And it really puts things into perspective, seeing everything in 3D. But the images that have stuck with me have not been from Google. It's been from the many books that I flipped through about the countries when I did my Countries of the World series. And I'd flip through a book every time. Almost all of them had pictures of kids playing soccer. And they were all so interesting because some kids were playing on a football pitch, a soccer field, as we say. Some were playing it in an alley. Some were playing it on the beach. Some didn't have soccer balls. They were kicking around rags that were all balled up. Just like this, the beautiful game, right? It's so world uniting, this basic thing of you kick ball and net. It was very cool to see so many different pictures of kids playing soccer around the world and all the different ways that they play it, but it's all the same game. I think that's really cool. I was always so happy whenever I got a book and there was a picture of kids playing soccer. Because, I feel like that's another world peace thing. Just let the kids play soccer. Let them go out and kick the football around, That's world peace to me. But that is it for the Q&A. I have one big thing I need to tell you about before I end this video. And that is that I am starting a new channel. My first video is up right now. You can go check it out. It is called The Ugly Kitchen. It is a cooking channel. I think last New Year's Day video I talked about how I wanted to do cooking videos. And never quite figured out how I could incorporate the ASMR into it. Definitely not with eating sounds. There will be no eating. I don't do eating sounds at all. But I figured out that if I kind of do the relaxing kind of cooking, calm, quiet cooking, that's not necessarily ASMR, that's much easier to do. Not to mention, I can roll ads during it. Like, the thing that really made me decide to do this was that YouTube changed its ad policy. And now I can't take away the videos at the end anymore. and they're really pushing me to do mid-roll ads like constantly, and I'm trying to tell them, dude, I got an ASMR channel, I can't do mid-roll ads. So at least on this channel, if ASMR collapses and crumbles over YouTube because of all of the ads, I will have that backup, you know. I will have the cooking channel. So you can go subscribe now and go watch the first video. So that is all for my announcements, Q&A and all that. Thank you all so much. You're all the best. I'm going to go record some more videos for you all because it's the new year and it's time to get back to work. So thank you all. Have a very good night and bye-bye.